subscribe or like my videos or comment so that I know if I should keep on with this little endeavor. But it's been a really fun process so far, and even just getting views is really exciting. And I hope that I am helping you guys to relax. So this first one is, am I the a-hole for waking up the whole family downstairs at 2 a.m. because they thought they could park and block my driveway overnight? Here we go. I live in a duplex in NYC. We rent the downstairs. We're chill and don't mind their friends throwing parties or staying over as long as they respect the property and keep the noise down at night. But a couple of months ago, one of their guys blocked the driveway around 7 p.m. I asked him nicely to move it and not to do it again, but he clearly didn't care. Fast forward to a few days ago, I get dropped off at 2 a.m. and see his car completely blocking my driveway again, even going over a bit onto the neighbor's side. I stood outside for 5 minutes debating whether to just have him ticketed and towed or wake up the whole house. I chose option 2 and blasted the doorbell for 10 seconds. This part because they do have a kid who goes to school the next day. They answered and I told her the car was blocking me and I needed to leave. It took the guy 5 minutes to come out and he was visibly pissed. He was like, you really have to wake everybody up for that. And I told him that he's blocking me and I need to leave and do it again and I'll have it towed. He said, I'll have to go pay for it, and I told him to watch me. He kept cursing at me, so I said back and repeated, that's why you're listening and moving your car, right? Yeah, keep it moving, buddy. This guy's 40 plus and I'm in college. He moved it and I just walked back upstairs and watched the security cams. I knew he was pissed when he looked at the driveway and both cars were still there. Okay, so my take on this is that the guy was not right for blocking you, but you probably could have handled it a little bit better. I feel like I get it. It's frustrating. We actually kind of had a situation like this when we first got married. We lived in an apartment and someone kept taking our parking spot and because we had a covered parking spot and people were taking it. And it was really frustrating, especially when it snowed. And so I get the frustration, but I also think that when you go directly at people with hostility, you're not going to get a great reaction. I think I would have, but they did say they did ask him nicely before, so that's a hard one for me. I still don't think I would have quite reacted that way, but I don't think it's wrong to ask for your driveway not to be blocked because that is really frustrating. But I think, like I said in my last video, that things can be handled in a nice way and you're probably going to get a better result. Because now the guy might park there just to make you mad. Okay, let me find another one. Okay, let's try this one. Am I the a-hole for not wanting my mother-in-law over to see the baby? My wife, 30 female, and I, 30 male, just had our first child. My wife's mom and I have always had a bit of a contentious relationship because I do not like the way she treats my wife. She constantly guilts her into doing things she does not want to do. For example, during the pregnancy, my wife did not want to started crying even more and huffed out of the house, all upset. She is constantly doing stuff like this. Since the baby was born, we have been inundated with so many people wanting to come over to our house. Honestly, I'm sincerely grateful to have them because they all have been so willing to help us with stuff around the house. Additionally, I still had to work for one more week because the baby came a bit early. I'm happy my wife has had some help. I'm happy my wife has had some people with her. They have made us food, done some of our laundry, helped clean a bit. I'm so thankful because it helped us out so much. My mother-in-law has also come over every single day, but she does absolutely nothing to help. She just sits there and wants to hold our baby while she watches us work around the house. On top of that, she's always got something to say about the way we're doing things with the baby. At one point, she even told my wife to give me the baby so I can show you that grandmamas know more than mamas. She will stay for hours at a time and is incapable of taking a hint when we're ready for her to leave. The other evening, she stayed until 10 p.m. It is driving me out of my mind. Even my wife has told me how disappointed she is by how unsupportive her mother has been. Yesterday, she came over again at 4 p.m. The same thing happened. I spent 3 hours making everyone dinner, cleaning around the house, doing laundry, and doing other miscellaneous chores. She sat there just holding the baby and watching a baseball game while I worked the entire time she was there. She didn't offer to do a single thing to help. At about 7:30, I sent my wife a text telling her that I'd like her to leave within the next 30 minutes because I'd like to have some time alone as a family before we have to put the baby to bed. I was upstairs folding laundry when I sent the text, and my wife had apparently given her mother her phone to put on the charger. When I came downstairs, she immediately decided it was time to leave. As she walks out the door, started crying. She never explicitly said she saw my text, but I have no doubt in my mind she did, especially since my wife has no security setting set up on her phone. This morning, my best friend had planned to come over to meet the baby. I'm very excited for this because I've known him since I was 10 and consider him my brother. However, my mother-in-law texted my wife telling her that she was coming over. She didn't ask if it was okay. She simply told us she is. I told my wife that I frankly do not want her to come over because I want my friend to be able to see the baby without her mom monopolizing him. I also told her that I don't want her over because I'm tired of watching her hold my baby every single day while I work around the house. My wife got upset with me saying that and told me that I needed to be more understanding of her mother. Okay, I think that this mother-in-law has got some serious boundary issues. But that is really hard if the wife does not feel the same way. I don't think that that's wrong at all to say like, hey, can you not have your mom come over today since my friend is coming over? Because yeah, if someone's coming to meet your baby, let them come and have that time. That just sounds like a really not fun situation. What I was going to say before I saw that the wife got mad was that the wife needed to have a talk with the mom and set up some boundaries, because it sounds like there's not a whole lot of boundaries there. I actually, my mom was not that bad, but I definitely was times that I told her, like, hey, we just want to be, like, alone today, and, like, she understood and listened. So sounds like this mom is not that way, but I do not think that this guy is in the wrong on that one. And that just makes me like, I have 3 daughters, and I really don't want to be like that with them. I had a really so I don't think I've ever said this, but my mom passed away about 4 years ago. And I loved my mom, I really did. But we had kind of an interesting relationship because my parents got divorced when I was in 4th grade, and my mom kind of started dating and was gone a lot. And so I kind of, we had kind of more of a sister relationship. Because she would go and be out on a date, and I would call her and be like, why are you out so late? Come home, blah, 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 And then it's like I didn't have a ton of rules. And then she got remarried, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, I had a curfew and all this stuff, and I was a bratty teenager. I'm like, no, I've never had a curfew. Anyways, this was just a tangent, but my mom would always try to tell me how to parent and tell me I wasn't doing it right. And I got very frustrated, and I had to talk with her, and sometimes I probably could have said it nicer, but I get that feeling of this is my baby, I'm the parent. Anyway, but I really did love my mom, and she was really great in a lot of ways, but we just bumped heads on a few things, and I do miss her. Okay. Okay, we're reading this one. It says, would I be the ale if I had my cousin's pet monkey taken away? Alright, we gotta read this one. Okay. I, female 19, was asked by my cousin to babysit her pet monkey for a few hours today, and after that experience, I'm seriously considering calling a sanctuary to force her to give up the monkey. Said monkey, named Izzy, is 10 years old. She's a capuchin, which are notoriously bad pets due to their intelligence, speed, and strength, especially now that Izzy is 10 and reaching that stage of life where she gets aggressive and territorial. She's already bitten me once, leaving a permanent scar. Other things Izzy has done that are concerning include stealing gum from people's mouths, stealing AirPods out of people's ears, dialing numbers, or accidentally confirming orders while playing with my cousin's phone, acting aggressively towards strangers, which is an issue because my cousin takes her everywhere. My cousin lives out of state and brings Izzy along for visits like these. My state has capuchins labeled as dangerous animals, and therefore my cousin cannot legally bring Izzy in the state, but she's convinced that as long as she shows the vaccination papers and the EAS certificate, it's okay. She brushes off anyone who tells her that EAS are not legally protected and monkeys are not legal support animals, at least here. She brings Izzy to hotels, restaurants, and would have brought her to church if I hadn't offered to babysit. Izzy was dropped off at my house in a crate that was the size appropriate for a cat, not a monkey. She had one toy, blanket, diaper, snacks, and a baby bottle of water. The whole 2 hours she refused to eat or drink and just rocked herself in the cage. Oh. She wouldn't even groom me when I tried engaging. This is the final straw for me. I just can't see how this life is fulfilling for Izzy. Oh, That's really sad. I don't like it when people have wild animals as pets. I watched that. Oh my gosh, I can't think of what it's called. But the lady, you know that documentary? I think it was on HBO, where the lady like had the monkeys, and she like had the one that she pretended that it died. Anyways, like after watching that and like Tiger King and all those, like it makes me really sad. And I don't think people should be allowed to have wild animals. I would probably call too. That's really sad and like dangerous. I know that those monkeys aren't like as big as like apes and stuff. Hold on, there's a car. But yeah, I would not think that that was safe to have as a pet. Yeah, that's sad. Okay, I think we have time for like one more, maybe two if it's short. I'm just trying to find a good one for us. Alright, let's see what it says. Oh, hold on, car. Sorry, I'm doing this at night, but I think someone's riding their dirt bike. Because I keep hearing the same sound. I thought it was a car, but a kid in our neighborhood has a dirt bike. Okay, this one says, am I the a-hole for prioritizing my sister's kids over my brother-in-law's? I really hope you guys can't hear that. That's super annoying. Hold on. Okay. I'm just gonna power through because it's like 10 o'clock here. What is this kid still doing out there? That's really annoying. Okay. I've always been much closer to my sister and her kids. She had children first. She consistently made an effort with me and my husband. And she always invited us over or made time to see us whenever we visit my parents. Because of that, it felt natural to be excited about her kids, to babysit, to be involved, and to accept being their godparents. I tend to invite her kids over for sleepovers with us and plan shared activities for their birthday gifts. On the other hand, my husband's brother and his wife have never really tried to build a relationship with us. They don't invite us over other than one time for our engagement, but it felt very forced by my mother-in-law. They don't reach out, and the only time we see them is at the family cottage, which is more about shared space than actual effort. They're much closer with her brother and his wife, even though we're always the ones helping them move to get their boat in. Help them move or get their boat in. Now that they have a child, I'm polite, supportive, and I ask about the baby when we're around, but we just aren't close. My in-laws have noticed that I spend more time with my sister's kids, and they've made comments about wanting me around more. I've already stepped back from the family a bit because it's emotionally draining. Everything is always about how hard things are for my brother and sister-in-law, and my mother-in-law has overstepped boundaries before with my husband and I. A monthly visit is honestly what I can handle. They also keep hinting about how their child will do activities with us when he's older, but it feels unfair to expect me to plan experiences and outings when they never put in the effort to build a relationship in the first place. I'm happy to be kind and cordial with their child, but the natural bond just isn't there the way it is with my sister's family. I'm also happy to give them experiences for their birthdays, but don't feel the need like I need to attend and they can just go with my in-laws or as a family. Am I the a-hole for not forcing a closer relationship? relationship or planning future activities. I'm happy to attend events if they plan and invite us, but I just don't feel like I should be the one planning these events. Okay, sorry, I'm reading. Someone asked, like, what her husband's. Hold on. Okay, someone just asked, like, what her husband thinks about all this. Oh my gosh, this kid is killing me. Go to bed. It's 10 o'clock. Okay. It says that he's not super concerned and he thinks the relationship is okay how it is, but does feel like I try more with my family. I've welcomed him to make plans with his brother and his brother's wife, and he wants to plan outings he's more than welcome to. Yeah. I think it's kind of a natural thing. Like, I'm closer to my brother's kids than I am to like any of my husband's children's kids. Like, I'm still close with them, but like my nieces and nephews of like both of my brothers, like I text them a lot and talk to them a lot more than I do my husband's siblings' kids, if that makes sense. So I think it's kind of a normal thing. Like, I don't know, maybe it's not. If it's not, let me know. I guess, although it wasn't with my parents, but my mom's family's kind of different, and we all, like, I've mentioned, we lived on the same street as my dad's parents and siblings, so my mom was really close with them. So maybe it's not normal, but I am kind of the same way where I like do a lot more like one-on-one things with my brother's kids. But I still would like, well, a lot of my nieces and nephews on my husband's side also live out of my state, so I don't really have the opportunity to be around them as much. But like when they're here visiting, I like take my kids over and like hang out with them a lot. So I don't think that they are. I think it's fine. But I probably like if like my in-laws said something to me that it like bothered them, then I'd probably try to make more of an effort. Just cause like if it was hurting their feelings, I wouldn't want to hurt their feelings, and I wouldn't want my nieces and nephews to think that I didn't care about them and love them. So I guess it's like if they're asking for you to put more effort, then I probably would. But what's interesting, I was actually just talking to one of my neighbors about this because they were saying that like their sister like doesn't put forth a lot of effort with their kids, like to come and watch them do their activities, but they always go to the sister's kid stuff. And that's how it is with my brother. Like, one of my brothers lives like across the country, but my one brother lives really close, and I like always go to his kids' track meets and like concerts, plays, whatever. Especially since my mom died, like I want to be there for him. But he never comes to any of my kids' things. His wife did finally come to a dance recital, so that was nice, but usually it's really one-sided, but I don't really mind because I'm not doing it like for that reason. I just really, really love my nieces and nephews, and I've always been super